Elden Ring on launch day was a little bit of a mess on Linux. So now it's working. Like right now, you can play the game and you can play it online. EAC is working. It's a Steam Deck verified game and everything is good. The only problems we have are the same problems that Windows has, where it's a horrible port and runs like ass. I can't play Elden Ring on my system because my system, it barely meets the minimum specs. But if we go to ProtonDB, scrolling down to the end of Elden Ring, we're going to notice there was a section there where the game wasn't working. Now, the reason why it wasn't working is kind of amusing. Yeah, right now it's got a gold rating, and it's going up every single day. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up to platinum as of Mars 28. When I encounter an enemy, you drop frames. I'm pretty sure that happens on Windows as well. What are you running? You're running a 6600 XT. Well, you're meeting the minimum specs, but like you're not running the game super well. Game does not start EAC splash screen. So the game also only works with the absolute latest version of Proton. You're not. There's no way you're using experimental if that was breaking, because everyone's using experimental when it's working. I imagine they thought they were using experimental, and it didn't fix it. But if we go right down to the start, let's see if we can find it. We're gonna be good. Here we go. So when the game first came out, failed to work anti-cheat, failed to work anti-cheat, failed to work anti-cheat, failed to work anti-cheat, and this was weird because the game came out and was already Steam Deck verified. So I was tweeting about this saying, is this the first case for game that is both Steam Deck verified but also balked? And at the time, yes, because the build of Elden Ring was a little bit broken. And also the way Proton looked for EAC was also a little bit broken. So Proton's search for EAC was case sensitive. So because the casing was different, the it couldn't find the EAC SO file. So it thought it didn't exist and it would just break. That's why it didn't work. So they uploaded the patch, got it working, and now it seems to work exactly how it should. You can play multiplayer, you can play single player, you can play online, you can play offline. One of the original fixes for this game was forcing the game to play in offline mode, because it didn't care if you had an internet connection or not. If you did, it would do EAC. If you didn't, it was like, okay, well, you don't have a connection, you can just play the game fine. Which I think is good, and any game that does happen to use EAC in a single-player context, I don't think it should, but if it does, please just let the game work if it is in a offline mode. I can understand EAC being involved in single player because of the way that multiplayer works. People can just randomly invade your world. Effectively, the game is always operating in a semi-multiplayer state. Like, you're always contacting back and forth with the server. So, if it is in online mode, I don't think it's as big of a deal if it exists in Elden Ring. And in any Souls game, for that matter. Because Souls games they're sort of notorious for having really bad hacking problems in the multiplayer. So some way to address that, I don't really consider a bad thing. And in my case, I don't play multiplayer anyway. As long as I literally played through all of Bloodborne with offline mode, like in offline mode, because I literally don't want to be invaded. I think invading is a bad feature. And you literally should have a toggle in your option that says invade or not invade. I shouldn't have to go through any hoops or anything like that. Literally just let me say I don't want to be invaded. I don't care about joining any clans in the game that might be hidden down some random path. I just don't want the feature. If I want to play multiplayer, I will play multiplayer. If I don't, then I don't. Judging by actually, I thought there might have been specific or not specific issues for Linux, but it seems like some people are saying there may be. Hey, I've been playing Elden Ring on Windows and also on Fedora Linux. I have some interesting results. First, I have a better. Oh, it might be better on lower stuttering, amazingly fast load times on Windows. Yeah, yeah. So it seems like in some cases it may be running better on Linux, which seems strange to me. But hey, if it's if it's working well, then that's good. I'm pretty sure Elden Ring did not officially release for Linux. Not a surprise that it's buggy. It's literally Steam Deck verified, right? Like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, that reminds me. I saw a comment on a tweet about Apex Legends. So Apex Legends is now supported on Linux because they finally went and finished off their EAC testing branch, their Steam Deck testing branch, and you can play the game fine on Linux now, which is really, 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 really cool. I don't know if it's going to keep working between updates. I hope it does, but hey, it's really cool nonetheless.